He's one of the best players ever to play the game. And you know it's amazing because he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest player, he's not the strongest player. And there are players with better shots. But what he does better than anybody else, he thinks the game better.
He thinks the game better. That's why with so much done on how to use your legs to skate, your wrists to shoot, your body to check, and all the other physical skills, that this video is about how to train your brain for hockey. Because as Dave King just said, it's a thinking game too. In hockey, a vital thinking link-up occurs between what you see unfolding before you in the game situation and how you then decide to apply your physical skills. And the coaching phrase which describes this thinking link-up between you and the game is read and react. To illustrate, here's a sequence which leads to a goal for Canada against Czechoslovakia. See if you can pick out some of the on-ice reading and reacting which led to the goal.
Czechoslovakian into the Rick, held in by Hampshire, to Servant, shoots, he scores!
Well, without read and react, that goal would never happen. After the face-off, all the Canadian players read the loss of the puck and react by going to the defensive. Conversely, the Czechs read their possession and start to move to break out of their zone. But notice this Canadian player. Although he's skating away from the puck to help backcheck, he keeps reading the play over his shoulder. Otherwise, he would never have seen that errant Czech pass. As a result, he intercepts. His Canadian mates read the turnover and react instantly by going to the attack mode, positioning themselves to support their man with the puck. On the other side, the Czechs react to defend against the potential shot on goal and the dangerous pass to the man in the slot area. The Canadian puck carrier reads how he is being checked and also reads how this man in the circle has got himself into open ice, and he reacts by passing him the puck. Now he reads his options of shooting or passing to the man moving in from the slot. In a split second, he reads the pass is about to be covered, and he reads that the Czech goalie is giving him the short side, and he reacts by shooting, and he scores. This play and its on-ice thinking took place in just over 5 seconds, much less time than it takes to explain it, but it takes years for players to develop this on-ice ability to read and react so instinctively. Listen to a Stanley Cup winning coach, Jean Perron.
Lire et réagir au hockey.
Read and react in hockey means that the players must adjust themselves very quickly to all situations during a game. A hockey player who can react very rapidly will produce turnovers, force errors from his opponent, and eventually, at some point, will produce goals. The ability to read and react in hockey is probably the big difference between an average player and an excellent player. The ability to read and react is the big difference between an average player and an excellent player, states Jean Perron. And this applies in almost every sport and game situation, even the electronic ones. But hockey is one of sport's most challenging read and react games, and the sooner a player starts to develop his reading and reacting skills, the better he'll be. In other sports, participants usually can read and react at a much slower pace, and usually with a less complex situation. For instance, hockey's not a game where you take turns, with your opponent waiting for you to make your play. And hockey's not a game where everything is static, so you can study the situation. And hockey's not a sport with only one or a few other players to read and react to. And it's not a sport where you know your opponent will travel along a predetermined path. And unlike some sports, there are very few timeouts to stop to collect your thoughts and use set plays. Plus, in hockey, while you're trying to read and react in a very dynamic situation, you've got to look out for your own physical well-being. Plus, the puck travels at speeds over 100 miles per hour, meaning that goalie had less than 1 second to read and react and make that save. Are you getting the picture? The way hockey players are forced to read and react makes it one of the most challenging thinking sports in the world.
Read and react is the most important skill of the game. You have to have that ability to react to your teammates, to develop a cohesive unit on the ice, and to be able to read the situation both offensively and defensively. Without that ability, your physical skills are wasted.
Without the read and react ability, your physical skills are wasted. But what does a player read? And how does he decide how to react? Well, hockey so intricately weaves physical, mental, and emotional components together that it would take many hours to completely answer that question. But we're going to give you a crash course in the basics of read and react over the next 2 minutes. Every player reads, keying on certain visual cues. The first is seeing who has the puck or is about to get it. If it's you or one of your players, you'll react in an offensive mode. If the opposition has the puck, your brain clicks into the defensive mode. In either case, you try to read what the player with the puck is going to do, which you read from what he's doing right now, and the options you see available to him next. You read these options by reading the puck carrier's movement, his speed, his body position, his stick position, his degree of puck control, and even his eyes. You read the checking pressure, especially the direction it's forcing the puck carrier. You read what ice the puck carrier has open to escape this pressure. And you read what open teammates he has to pass to. In other words, you read the man with the puck, but you read the big picture too. If you are on the defensive, you could react to check the puck carrier directly if you were the closest man. Or you might react to increase the checking pressure by backing up the closest man. Or you might react to cut off a possible passing lane. Or react to cover a potential pass receiver. When your team is on the offensive, you might react by moving in to take the puck yourself. Or you might react to position yourself to block off a checker to reduce the pressure. Or you might move closer to overload an area to be available for a pass. Or you might move away to open ice to get open for a pass. These things are what's meant by the term offensive support, which is the subject of the next program on this video. If you yourself are the puck carrier, you still have to read both the checking pressure and your offensive options. And you may react by carrying the puck, or passing, or shooting. Or it may be a time you'll have to react with a puck protection tactic. And that's something you'll learn more about in the third program on this video. All these read and react thought processes take place in split seconds. And all players, including goaltenders, must develop their reading